Hey guys, welcome back to House Flipper 2 with Rash Decision. If you're enjoying the content, please leave a like and subscribe to let me know. Enjoy the video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a little bit of a treat today. A little bit more of a treat than the previous video because this one was actually planned. I already knew that I was going to be doing this one, and I've been preparing for it for a couple of days now, collecting a few resources on Silent Hill 4. That's not to say I'm not a fan of the game. I am a big fan of the Silent Hill series, and I've played Silent Hill 4 myself, but it was a long time ago. I'm far more familiar with Silent Hill 2 as well as 3, but not 4 much more or less. That was a little bit after I had moved on to other genres in my youth, I should say. I'm also a big fan of the Resident Evil series, but I will have to say that the survival horror genre in general doesn't really appeal to me much anymore, but I still love horror games. I am an absolute huge fan of horror games. In fact, Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft, is one of my favorite authors of all time. I love his work. That's not to say that I'm a huge fan of the man himself. I don't empathize with him as a person. If you are interested, I highly recommend looking into him. He's a very interesting case study for psychology, but I do not empathize with him as a person. I do not feel connected to him as a person, just his authoritative work. Authoritative? I'm not sure if that's the right word. I just spat that one out. The works he's authored, I'm a big fan of, and I'm a big fan of his literary work. That's a better word for it. Let's go with that one instead. If you ever go look into him, he was a racist xenophobe, which definitely edged into the Lovecraftian horror that he created. And I'm sure you've already noticed at this point, there is no game sound on. That's actually a little bit misleading. I have the game sounds on, but not the music, and there's a reason for that. This is a horror mod based on a horror game, but this is for the explicit purpose that there's a few sounds in game, mostly coming from the TV, but I wanted the whole experience for the viewer when I go into this. So this is a mod from, down here at the bottom it says Dart No Bug, but he's actually commented on my videos many times as Dart Ace to Ace, and he requested that I review this mod for him, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So the first thing, we're actually going to go ahead and go into the mod, and we're just going to hit play, and we'll give you the full experience that I had when I first showed up. This is it. We're going to edit that out. We are actually going to go back to main menu here. We're going to redo this. And this is it. This is exactly what I stepped into the moment I opened it. Just listen to the ambiance. Got the refrigerator running. It's kind of humming on its own to the left. You can kind of see the TV on, but it's not doing a whole lot. But everything is pretty well pitch black. And when we turn our flashlight on, we immediately notice there's a lot of grime. There's a lot of just disgusting around. Got the bloody footprints. We've got a little bit of everything going on here. And the first thing we notice is that we've got Do Not Go Out, Walter. This is exactly how you see it in Silent Hill 4. It's written in blood across the door, and there's big chains across the door and everything. But I give a lot of credit here, because I wasn't expecting the door to actually have the words scratched into it, you know, because I could tell it's just these that are sized down. But even so, this is a very clever way of going about it. I absolutely love this. It's a lovely little touch. Now, in the absence of a peephole in House Flipper, I will say that this could be improved by simply removing like one of these sections of wall and being able to have the player like be able to look out here. Just have like no light out there whatsoever. Just have it so that you have to use your flashlight to be able to see out, because it looks like there is a little bit of light that's coming in. But be able to see out, and you'd be able to see like the wall that's across the hallway with all the handprints that go across. And I'm going to go ahead and shout out to my wife right here. My wife is a massive, massive, I started to say house flipper, but a Silent Hill fan. She loves all the games to absolute death. She is a wonderful woman that absolutely helped out with everything for this particular review. She helped out with all the resources, with screenshots. She actually, the mad woman, broke open an old save file in an actual game, or the actual game that she owns. I don't know actually if she opened it on her PS2 or not, but she did tell me that she was able to get some screenshots for me, and I was able to get a hold of them. And I used all the resources she gave me, and she gave me all the tools to be able to review this as it should be. And again, I did play the game myself, so I have a little bit of an idea about what's going on. So we're going to go ahead and start turning on some lights. And if you notice, Dart has actually made the lights very, very dim to give kind of like that effect that of the dingy lights you see in game, where like the incandescent lights are not very bright at all. They're like these really old, like outdated lights that you don't really need. And of course, he's got the lights over the sink, and he's got the lights over the stove, and of course, have the bloody footprints that stop with like the random shoes in front of the stove. That's actually how it happens after one of the hauntings in Silent Hill 4. So major props for that. Got that exactly correct. I do like it. This is actually the Otherworld apartment, I will point out. So if you ever go play Silent Hill 4, there's 3 versions of the apartment. There's the pre-game version. What am I seeing over there? Oh, I'm seeing the TV. I just looked over at the recording. I wasn't quite sure what I was seeing over there. But there's the pre-game version. There is the primary version, which is the real world, I think is the best way to put it. And then there's the other world. This one is based on the other world. I will point that out. So there is a lot of extra like details that are put in here to give it that otherworldly feel where like the hauntings have happened and a lot of the game events have already occurred. So if we turn on this light, we're getting kind of like the same just dingy, unwelcoming appeal. And of course, like this shot right here especially like really brings it home for the exact feel that this game was going for, as well as very clearly the mod artist was going for. And we go in here. So I was told that this was a smaller room, which I'll be honest, a lot of the rooms in this mod are a little bit bigger than they really should be, but I don't blame that on the mod creator. I blame that more on the engine for House Flipper 2. You have to work with what you have. And for what's here, I'm going to say this is really nice. This is exactly what I would expect to find in this kind of apartment. But the in the game, the the washer and the dryer are kind of comically large and take up like this entire wall. And then there's like a little shelf over here to the side, but it's much smaller. You know, there's a few different differences, but with the tools they were given, they did an excellent job with this. I absolutely am enthralled by how much detail and just how everything comes together in this. And of course, you know, we have like a little bit of rust right here from something falling or like blood falling on the floor and kind of oxidizing over time, you know, things like that. So as we turn on more lights, we're still getting like that very dingy appeal. And especially this screen right here that we're looking at, this is a wonderful example of conversing a medium from one game to another, especially when you have something as limited as House Flipper 2, and yet you still get it as close to the fact as you can with this. And of course, we're hearing the sounds coming from the TV here with this nice little video that's playing, and you get like that little bass tone. And when you're walking around and you hear that, it's kind of unsettling, actually. It really, really is. So when this with this video playing, you know, I absolutely love this ambiance. This is absolutely perfect ambiance for what I would expect to be in this kind of place. So when you hear like that bassy hum just in the background, when you're like out here looking at these bloody footprints and all these bloody handprints, you know, in the hallway, you just hear boom. It's just absolutely fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So the next part I need to talk about is first the windows. I know that there's not a way to lock windows within House Flipper 2, but the windows that were in that in the game in Silent Hill 4, they were double hung, whereas these are just standard swing open type casement windows, which again I don't fault, because probably if I had to guess, it's most likely because there wasn't just a window this size that was available to be used like that. So I don't really fault that too much. It's just a small detail that I do have to point out. The next part of it is in the game, the primary couch is over against that wall, or at least in one part of the game. I will point out in one of the screenshots I saw, there was like a couch against that wall. There was like a this item chest was a little bit further over. There was like a chair over here. There was like a chair over here, and there were candles absolutely everywhere. And that's actually one of the game mechanics to prevent hauntings, was to put candles down everywhere. Now, if we talk about the TV just for a moment, just while we're talking about the living room suite, it is a CRT that's actually in the game, in Silent Hill. So if we look and we go into, assuming it's not locked out, there is a CRT that is available within this that would have been perfect, but I have a feeling that it wouldn't have worked correctly with this video playing on it. So I will give passing grade on that, because we're losing authenticity because it's an LCD as opposed to the CRT, or rather the retro CRT, I should say. But that being said, I would rather have this ambiance available to the player that comes in than have it be just a better looking TV. I would rather have the player immersed in the sound than watching the video the entire time. And so if we move a little bit further around, this right here, this is an important little piece of this set. Yeah, it's kind of what I thought. So this right here is an important piece of this set. So if you actually move this to the side over here, that was a mechanic in the game where you would move this to the side, and there would be a little peephole right here that looks into the next room over, and it would look into a bedroom where there was like kind of like a broom on your left, right next to the dresser, and then straight ahead of you there would be like a bed, a nice big bed with like a stuffed animal on it. I feel that could have been recreated here. Could just knock a little piece of this wall out, have a look in here, and you've been able to see all that, but then have this in the way and actually have to prompt the player to move that right there out of the way before you'd be able to find it. And there's another part of this mod that actually has the same kind of issue, but at the same time, I understand why the developer or why the mod artist actually did it the way they did. And a large part of that is because the sledgehammer here is disabled. And without that sledgehammer enabled, knocking out the rest of this wall to be able to get into the next room would have been a severe hindrance to the player as they're just trying to enjoy this mod. So I kind of understand they wanted to keep it to the bounds of what they have here, rather than forcing the player to have to overlook some part because they actually can't get into that room without that sledgehammer. So we'll give them a passing grade on that one as well. So if we go a little bit further through, we have the bloody footprints. This is exactly how they show up. Now the only problem with these is that they didn't go into the bathroom. They actually went straight into this wall right here. So they went straight to the base of this wall. And that's because in Silent Hill 4, it is very, very close to the end of the game. So I apologize if there's a spoiler here for anyone who hasn't finished it or would like to finish it. But spoiler ahead, kind of skip ahead, and once I'm not looking at this wall, that's how you know that I'm done explaining. What's beyond this wall is actually Walter's body. You don't actually play Walter, you're just you're playing a different character that's kind of unraveling the mystery about Walter, such as, you know, the scratches on the door, don't go out, Walter. But behind this wall is a secret room where you find Walter's body. And so we're going to go ahead and look away from this. That's the end of the spoiler. So if we can look to the left here, there is the primary bedroom. This is significantly larger than the bedroom is in Silent Hill 4. Probably could have moved this over to here, could have moved the bed over, but I understand, again, why it was done this way, and that's because that outside wall had to go somewhere. Could have pulled it in. It wouldn't have been too difficult to do that, but that's not really what the mod author was going for, so I don't blame them at all if they didn't want to change the size of this room just to match what was exactly in game, because that would have been a little bit more extra work on them, and they wanted it to be this way, so it just kind of ended up being this way. Um, no typewriter here, but there's not one in House Flipper 2. I'm not worried about that at all. That was a limitation of this game, not the mod creators' aspirations for this mod. So if we go a little bit further and we just look into the bathroom, and oh, by the way, this is another place where not having that sledgehammer is why this isn't the way it is, or the way it would be within Silent Hill. So the only part that I really have to fault Dart on, and I apologize, Dart, this is not a personal attack. This is more just maybe something about the game you may not have been able to find on short notice. But my wife actually told me, and I didn't know this either, so that's why I'm saying it's not a personal attack. It's not anything against you. It's just, had I known this and I was in your shoes, I probably would have included it. This, honestly, really needs to be a bathtub. And the reason is, and I'll put a example on screen right now, showing you what it looks like in the game. And if you notice, it is full of blood. And the reason for that is actually a primary game mechanic required to complete the game, where you actually take a shirt that you find out in the world. You have to dip it in that blood for a very obscure puzzle, just a very obscenely obscure puzzle, where you pull the shirt out and you find out that someone has written in wax on that shirt. Just for spoiler purposes, I won't say what's on the shirt, but that is a primary game mechanic where the bathtub's full of blood. You dip the shirt in it, you take it out, and it helps you solve one of the big puzzles throughout the game. So I feel that this really should have been a bathtub. I know there's not like a bathtub shower combo. I thought there was. Like, I went through looking when my wife was explaining it to me, but I apologize. I was wrong. I thought there was a bathtub shower combo, but I must be thinking of like House Flipper 1 or maybe The Sims or something else. But either way, it would have been much better to use like one of the bathtubs like this one or like this one, and like put like bloody handprints all in it, like smears of blood and stuff like that. Make it look like maybe the blood ran out through the drain, and somebody was searching around in it, like bracing themselves on the side with their bloody handprints because they just dipped a shirt into it. Things like that. It would have been a really cool little addition to put that in here. If you want to do like a new version of this mod, that'd be absolutely awesome for you to do, because it would be just that little bit of extra. As I've said before, my missions, there would be that little extra that really brings it to life. But outside of that, if we talk about this hole right here, this is a hole that the main character climbs through in order to access the other world. So this is kind of like where they would come out if they were coming into this part of the game in the other world from the real world. But that is absolutely everything regarding. Because it's pretty small, I'm going to go through and we're just going to go ahead and run down our primary portion of just cleaning it up, getting it flipped, and we'll see what it looks like. Let's see. Get all our trash up like I always do. I'm just going to kind of have a quick look around. Get rid of all that, get rid of all this. It is very small, very straightforward, so it's not, and I'm not going to expect to find anything up here. The devs never actually put anything inside of cabinets, so I'm expecting that most modders aren't going to either. But that being said, I wouldn't put it past someone to actually do that just to mess with people. And nothing against Dart, like absolutely not. But it wouldn't shock me if somebody actually did do that. So I've got one more piece of trash. It's hiding out here somewhere. I see it. Okay. There we go. And we'll go ahead, we'll do our cleaning. You know what? While we're here, I'm actually going to change these lights just to make sure that we actually do that as one of like our first few things. Got the temperature turned way down as well. I see that. Okay. We'll turn that up. Not too awful far. We'll go ahead and just turn that up to 100. That way we at least have everything kind of taken care of with it. Well then. That's right, because I discovered that you can't do that. Really? That's on me. I forgot about that. So I got the 100. There we go. I turn this up to 100. Turn this up to 43. Just like I am on the others. Again, developers, if you're watching, I would love to be able to just shift or control click that and just type in a number. I was making sure that wasn't actually a feature and I'm just being dumb. It is not. It is not. These I might actually leave pretty low because there's 3 of them and they're kind of like lining the hallway here. Really wish the copy and paste would work for the temperature and brightness. Go. Do a 50. That feels pretty good because I could tell that's hitting the ambient areas around me pretty well. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit this lamp over here. Looks like that's the last one in this main room. And we really need like another light over here. It's just not bright enough for what I would expect for like a regular house to be like. Like I know it's supposed to be a horror mod, but honestly, it doesn't necessarily need to be a horror mod all the time, right? There we go. And this is just tedium. I might even speed through this. I just cut it out in the editing. Much brighter. I should just have the one in the bathroom left. Just pull back down to 4,300. There we go. Everything is taken care of there. Lovely, lovely. May have to put something there at the end of the hallway, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and pick up all this trash. Get everything picked up here. Whoops, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, well. That's a vacuum item. Whoop. Hope there's a place I can put this. There is not. Let's see. Can I buy that? You know, I've never even looked. Yeah, you can. Look at that. So I'll just buy this. Open it. Oh. Apparently I just ate it. Who knows? Oh, there it is. Okay, I must have just dropped it by accident. Or maybe it like teleported out of my hand when I changed over to the tablet. Who knows? Seems like everything else is taken care of. I will have to say, I do very much appreciate the work that would have gone into placing each one of those manually. That can be turned off. I'm not too keen on that staying there like that. Okay. Now the question is, what happens? Can't sell it. Okay. Let's see. So I guess we're going to have to just stick with it. No new door for you. I'll try to change the style and we'll see what happens. Go. Oops. Looks like the texture might be broken there. Seems like it. Yeah, there's nothing actually in there, so let's go ahead and... go. I guess I really could go one room at a time and just kind of like fix everything. But being I'm in the bathroom, might as well start in here to do that. Yeah, it's still broken. Let's see what happens. I just noticed you can't actually sell the doors or anything like that. There we go, that fixed it. Lovely, lovely. Not quite sure what's going on with this texture right here. Or, I'm sorry, not texture, this shadow. Seems like I've got everything for the vacuuming. Alright. It says I still have some vacuuming to do. I'm wondering if it's like underneath that and it's not letting me have it. Yep, it's exactly what it is. Okay. It's possible I may have to sell that, actually. Kind of wondering if it wouldn't be beneficial to do like a tear it all out, tear it to the ground, and get it done. Okay, so I'm supposed to be selling that. Got it. Got it, got it, got it. So we'll go ahead and we'll do a new surface finish. Okay, so it looks like we're doing, I'm guessing tile is my guess. And we have two options here. Got the square tiles. We can do the subway tiles. I'm guessing, yeah, it's all the same color. So we'll do this all the way around, and then we'll do the long ones in the shower. Go. So then that tells me it's probably not a good idea to just go tearing everything out like an absolute madman. But I'm going to be a madman. Can't get to the bottom of that, so I'm going to assume it's okay. Alright. Got that taken care of. We're going to go ahead and sell what's left of this. Oh, probably because I accidentally sold that. Oops. Or maybe it was supposed to be sold. Who knows? Some toilet paper for that holder. It might be because I accidentally sold it. Let me see. Okay. Buy this. Looks like I may have to do something odd here. Because it's not giving me access to that. I think it's because the shower's in the way. Go. A little bit goofy that I have to move the shower to get to that. But there again, I don't blame the mod author for that. That's just the game being goofy. Alright. Go ahead and buy me some paint. And here we go. Oh, we're doing everything. Okay. Well, that actually works because that means I can just grab a swath and just go with it. Oh, boy. I can't do that. It's not going to let me do that. Okay. There we go. And we'll do the same over here. Kind of getting rid of that dingy ceiling there. Using that rough concrete, though. That's brilliant. That rough concrete kind of gives that old plaster kind of look to it. Whoop. That's what I want. It's going to be a lot brighter in here. I know that much. A lot brighter. Although I guess you don't want to hear that kind of sound while you're being a contractor in a Silent Hill apartment. That's probably the worst sound you want to hear. Go. Eek. Eek. Oh, the control scheme doesn't like it when I change viewpoint. Alright, yeah, it's much, much brighter in here. Like, it's significantly brighter. Alright. And you look at the difference. Yeah, like, that's crazy. Let's do the hallway. This hallway is, if we paint anything white in this hallway, it's going to be much brighter in here. Like, we won't need to do anything. Them heavy footsteps where the game is trying to calculate the footstep noise. You know, I'm looking at the ceiling and I'm hearing that from behind me in a horror house. You know, that's not a great way to do game. Let's see. You hear like this big heavy footstep behind you where you're facing the other direction. That's not a good look. You know, it reminds me a lot of the, what was it, Samantha Miter? The thing that was supposed to be like Jason's mom's house from House Flipper 1, that Halloween update. That's what this reminds me a lot of. Like, I know you can't recreate a lot of, like, the dinge and what have you, the din and dissonance that you could in House Flipper 1, but I'll be honest, Dart's done a really good job with this one. With what tools he had available to him, this is incredible. I'm assuming him. I apologize. I shouldn't assume. It should just be what tools they had available to them. I don't know why I keep trying to hit the cell. This is what I wanted. So let's have a look here. So we're doing something here. So it looks like this entire room is all being treated the same. If that's the case, then I will just go ahead and redo the bedroom first. Get these, what is it, like flower petals, maybe? That's what it seems like. Coffee beans, flower petals. I do like the creative use of various assets here. I'm probably going to have to sell this bed, so I'm not even sure why I'm bothering. Yeah. Okay. Ugh. I had to sell the lamps right after spent all that time getting them. That's going. So everything is going. It's just. Like all there is a giant void out there. But I guess we need a clean window to view our void from. Go. Excellent, excellent. Let's have a look. Yeah, I am supposed to sell that. Okay, and those are staying. So everything looks okay there. Let's go ahead and get the rest of this vacuumed up. Oh, that's right. I do have some points left, some skill points. I should go ahead and pull those out of here. Let's see, Flipper Tools fine. So I do have some house selling points here. Let's see. 2 buyers to choose from, okay. Tough negotiator. Earn more from selling houses. Okay. And that's everything, isn't it? Yeah, that's everything. Okay. All over the walls. Look at that. I mean, I expected that. I just want to see if there was anything in the closet. Get absolutely everything out of here. Get it done. And there again, this is just busy work. I hate leaving this in the videos, but I'd rather leave the videos candid than edited to hell and back. Go. It looks like I missed a couple spots here. That is one bad thing about these walls. You can't hardly see the stains when you miss them. Aha. Alright. Let's go ahead and do the painting. Because I have a feeling it's going to be the... okay, so we have light blue, well, light teal is what it looks like. And a white is what we're after. So I'm going to say the ceiling needs to be white, the walls need to be blue. I might do like a an accent wall in white, who knows. Do something crazy here. But yeah, this is going to brighten up this room immensely. Just like the bathroom, it's going to make a huge difference for the light travel through this room. Bright colors cause light to bounce and diffuse. So if you really want to brighten up a room, just paint it a bright color. That's all you got to do. Particularly if you pay attention to the finish, glossy paint will reflect the most light, but at the same time, it's really hard to balance. So if you paint a whole room in glossy white and then shine a light in it, it's actually going to be unbearably bright. Like you have to use gloss paint like really seldom to make it work correctly. Now, as far as like accent pieces, you kind of want those to be shiny. So yeah, sure, throw it on accents, but don't make it the primary color for a room. In most interior housing, the type of paint you're going to be using the most is going to be eggshell. Eggshell is very easy to clean. It has a very nice satin finish that isn't super bright, but is nice enough that it will diffuse the light that comes into it and kind of make it bounce in every direction and soften it. Um, Cove lighting is another way to brighten up a room without actually adding more light to it. Cove lighting is a particular kind of lighting that uses quite literally, they're called coves. They are ceiling molding that actually hangs down below the ceiling just a little bit. They work really, really well with arched ceilings and vaulted ceilings because they'll bounce the light. They shine the light directly up. So you have your ceiling molding that kind of sticks out away from the wall. You'll have like a strip of LED or like a strip of incandescent bulbs or what have you that sits down in behind the molding so you can't see from the front to the bottom, but it'll shine the light up. And when you do that, it can create like this little curtain of light that goes up. But if you use really, really strong LEDs or really strong lights, you can create this really cool effect against like again the vaulted or the or arched ceilings, where the light will bounce off of it and be just this absolutely wonderful soft light that just cascades over the room. Now, it's not very good for like dining halls, things like that, because those you have to they kind of fall into a color theory where especially incandescent light is very good for food and like eating establishments. Man, the viewpoint changes are really killing me with this. There it goes again. We'll have to move. But incandescent light, when it shines on food, it makes it actually look more appealing. And that's becoming an emerging field of study for, I think it was a psychological field of study. I don't think it's like a metaphysical or anything like that. But when you shine LED light on food, it doesn't look as appetizing. So restaurants will try to avoid LED lights where they can, and they'll try to stick to like halogen or incandescent or neon. Even is better than LED. But LED is such an incredible technology that you'll see it more often being used in like service areas where the like food or something being presented doesn't matter. While I have this, I'm going to go ahead and hit this. But cove lighting is really cool. I love the idea of cove lighting. In fact, when I build my studio that I've mentioned a couple of times on this channel, we're renovating a house. One of the rooms that's in the house is going to be my studio, and I'm going to build it from the ground up to be a studio. So when I get that opportunity, let me actually double check, because I have a feeling, yeah. So that's going to be all white paint. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this for it. Now I can get to the back of this, so I'm going to go ahead and paint it. There we go. Not very feasible to get back here, so I wouldn't blame the mod creator for not including this even in the future. if you notice, I'm having to like crouch down to get to it, and same thing with this up here. Now it is actually not liking me doing that, but I'm still going to do it because it's completionism. And it's just one quick little swipe there. I'm hearing birds. I don't think there's any birds in the void, but I'm hearing birds, and I'm just going to laugh at it. But yeah, cove lighting is very, very cool. I love cove lighting. It's one of those. It's not even really like a technology. It's just an idea. And it's a really cool idea, if you ask me. It's one of those things I would love to be able to replicate in. Come on, there it goes. I would love to be able to replicate it in House Flipper, but the lighting engine may not be powerful enough for it. In House Flipper 2, it might be if it was modified a little bit, because if you notice in the spinning object, it does cast light directly on it, but you would have to have like. To make it really work, you'd have to have at least path tracing, if not ray tracing, to make it really worthwhile. And contrary to popular belief, not every game needs ray tracing. Uh, Besides the fact that it's really heavy on resources, it's just unnecessary in most cases. Just using like lightweight path tracing would be perfectly fine for a game like this to be able to do that. There we go. Got that all painted. And we'll go ahead and get rid of that. And this is just the oak panels for the floor. I have a feeling the oak panels are what's going to be going outside as well. And oak panels. Okay. What? What happened there? Yeah, if ever you want to make a room brighter without adding more light to it, there's always really, really cool options out there for you. And speaking of the studio, part of the reason that I'm building the studio from the ground up is actually one of the problems that I notice far more than I probably should in my videos. And that is that you can absolutely hear like the echoes from the room that I'm in. You can hear like the clacks on the keyboard, those, and you can hear just about everything that goes on around me. Like especially, oh, I need more white paint. I forgot about that. And especially you can hear like when the fire alarm or my smoke detector. It's low on battery right now, and I can't get it apart because there's somebody plastered over it. Um, like you can hear everything that goes on, and I do have on order right now. It's supposed to be here in a couple of days. I do have on order a couple of things that should help with that. And I've got like some sound dampening sitting up on my walls. Not true sound dampening. I didn't go and buy like $500 foam panels or anything like that. But I did purchase. Or I'm sorry, but I did actually go out and get like some basic felt blankets, and I just pinned them up to the drywall on the walls behind me to kind of catch some of those echoes. Let's see, here we go. I wasn't expecting this video to be this long. I thought originally about just doing the quick little review, do the walkthrough and talk about it, and then put this in a separate video. I might still do that. You may see this as a separate video, and you may hear that get edited out. Who the frick knows? I have been absolutely going ham with just changing my mind in the middle of videos here lately. And believe me, it's utterly asinine how often I change my mind. Let's see. So we got oak panels. So it's the same oak panels out here. That's pretty straightforward. We'll go ahead and bring this out here as well, just because I know I'm going to need it for at least the ceiling. You know what? I'll go ahead and finish this in here. So this is just a purchase for this. That's pretty straightforward. I don't mind this actually. The see-through sliding door. That's actually a pretty awesome idea for a closet door. I would have never thought of that. I've always seen these as more like patio doors, that kind of thing. So that's what I think of them as. It's very thinking outside the box, and I like it. I truly do. So yeah, this is going to brighten up this end of the hallway here, where I won't most likely need another light. I had talked about putting one in, but I don't think it's going to be necessary. That was perfect. Holy crap. Anyway. Let's see. So yeah, the white paint on the walls, probably like the warm green. I said the walls, but on the ceiling, and then use the warm green everywhere else. That shouldn't be too bad. Go. Really good color selections as well. Really, really good color selections. Whoop! Alright, paint. There we go. Got some healthy greens. Had that faded blue in the other room. Had the tiles. Got a nice, healthy selection here. It's been kind of pleasing to work with this as a mission. I haven't seen anything that's made me want to go, I'm not doing that. I'll put it that way. Some of those missions, man, they'd have you throw down some stuff and I'd be like, I don't know about that. This one hasn't been all that bad. I feel like I am playing a survival horror game because I just had tank controls. Oh, good. I was afraid it's going to have me run out of paint like right there at the end of it. Oh, good. I got the whole ceiling painted in here. Okay. So let's go through and we'll do the cleaning and the vacuuming in here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on the floor. Looks like it's mostly just in these footprints. I'll have to move this trash can right here. Maybe not. It looks like it did pick up some stuff there. You know, as I was talking to my wife about the bloody footprints and how they're just they're so integral to this game's everything. I always found them like in what I would consider to be murder scenes, things like that, where I'm being a trauma cleaner. I am actually seriously considering looking into making a full video that compiles all my evidence that we might actually be a trauma cleaner in the primary story of House Flipper 2. Because apparently I'm not the only one that's noticed that. There's a few others that have identified that, yeah, there's definitely something going on. Because especially evidenced by the cell phone that's being buried on the community building lot. Because that house is the ugliest house is what they refer to it as. Because that building is abandoned before you get to it, you absolutely could make a case that that cell phone being buried is the crux of the entire investigation. And I say investigation, but realistically, it's just a couple of people being nut jobs, myself included. You know, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and... Aha, so these are cleanable. Good. I was worried we were going to have to leave the door like that. Mr. Clean to the rescue. Mr. Clean Ultra fills in scratches in marble. And yes, I did say in marble for those of you who are just now joining us. I have had situations where there have been deep scratches in marble, and this cleaning rag and cleaning solution have fixed it. So let's go ahead and get rid of this because I don't need this anymore. Let's see. Go. And one thing I did notice, as I was going through, the cabinets look perfect. They are immaculate. Completely immaculate. Now, don't get me wrong, the ones that show up in Silent Hill 4 aren't the best, but they aren't the worst either. They aren't all that dingy. They look like they had just been installed right before the protagonist had moved into the apartment. But, yeah, it was just a little bit jarring that you have all this dinge everywhere else except the pristine white cabinets in the kitchen. Just funny. It's just funny. It's just like the Mr. Clean Ultra. I like to make fun of it, but I understand why. Let's see. Lots of stains. Lots and lots of stains. This is by far the most cleaning I've had to do ever in one building. And I did see while I was actually trying to hunt down this mod in mod.io, I was actually seeing that there were several entire apartment buildings. I understand where they're coming from when they make those, but I'm curious. I might grab one and play it off camera. Or maybe I might do like a mod review of one of them. Who knows? Um, but I want to have a look at them just to see how they work, like in practice. Are you actually numbering the doors and that sort of thing? Like, how is that actually working? Like, how is that working in practice? Because this game is not that robust. It can be, but it is not in the current state that it's in. Or at least it doesn't seem like it. Maybe I'm missing some puzzle piece somewhere that I didn't realize. Go. Yeah, I've seen some of the creations people have come up with on the subreddit. Like, some of them are absolutely insane. How detailed and high quality they are. I'm still missing 12 stains. This is reminding me of that episode of Futurama where the neat freak lady falls in love with Fry because he's a slob. That's literally what I'm being reminded of right now. And yeah, when they get really far down and I'm just missing like a speck of them, it's really hard to tell. I'm getting an audio cue, but I can't tell where it is. Aha. I didn't even look at those. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and sell some stuff. Looks like everything in the kitchen is staying. A couple things are missing. You know, that's clever. I will give you credit. I see what you're trying to do. Probably would have been better to actually turn this around. Oh, I see why you didn't do it that way. You know what? Touche. Touche. Keep your toilet paper, paper towels. Go ahead and get rid of these. Keeping that, keeping that. Yeah, of course. Went through all the effort of changing out those lamps, and we're not actually doing anything with them. And I just realized I never did actually fix the bedroom. I'm gonna have to sell each one of these. So getting rid of that, but not the TV. Interesting. Put the TV up here just so I have it out of the way. Yeah, I never did finish doing the bedroom, did I? Whoops. Oh well. I will get back to it. I have a feeling this is going to need 2. So we're going to go ahead and grab 2 just while we're here. And here again, it's just grunt work. Sometimes I really want to just edit this out, just so you guys don't have to sit through it, but there is absolutely a merit to just talking about just random crap. Talking about lighting and cove lighting, that sort of thing. I did actually, actually, weren't there... Oh, okay, that's going to go behind. Aha, yes. I did actually learn recently from one of the big science channels I don't remember which one it was, to be 100% honest with you, and I do apologize if a member of one of those channels is watching, but I did learn recently about how light has the ability to make decisions, and that actually does tie back into something I learned years and years ago that I didn't quite understand then, but I do now. I understand a lot better now, and that is that when light attempts to make a decision, it's unpredictable what decision it's going to make. If you have a piece of polarized glass uh, aligns. Excuse me. It aligns in either one direction or another. It aligns unidirectionally, and that alignment allows only waves of light that are oriented in that direction to pass through them. So if it's polarized vertically, only perfect vertical waves of light will make it through. So that means about half of the light that hits that object is not going to make it through. If you have two pieces of polarized glass, where you have one piece that's say vertical, just for example purpose, and one piece that is I just noticed there. Okay, and one piece that is horizontal, for just an example's sake, it's not gonna let any of the light through. However, if you have three pieces of polarized glass, one that's vertical, one that's horizontal, and one that's diagonal, it will actually let about 25% of the light through, because those rays that are diagonal, when they meet that final lens, they're going to make a decision to flip to either vertical, horizontal, whatever that last lens is, after making it through that diagonal, because the rays of light that are coming in, they can only actually be that vertical or horizontal to begin with. So when they're coming in at that superposition of diagonal, they're actually making a decision where they're making it through the first one, then making it through the diagonal, and then as being a superposition diagonal, they're hitting that last pane and making the decision to be vertical or horizontal, what have you, to be the alignment of that last pane. And that's some really spooky crap. Like, that's really spooky. I don't fully understand it. I'm definitely not a scientist by any means, but I'm smart enough to know what's being said to me and when that's the case. And I'm going to tell you, what's being said to me is very spooky. And I'm not sure how to feel about it. Okay, so we've got all that up there, all the way around. So I'm definitely not going to be doing absolutely everything in this screen. I'm going to go ahead and mask some stuff off and hit it with... so that actually looks like stuff that needs to be... I'm going to hit that with this. There we go. Go ahead and run these through, just while I'm standing here. There we go. I'm just trying to be thorough here, make sure everything is done. Now, of course, because this isn't part of the main game, technically, I'm not actually getting anything out of being this thorough, or even really doing this to begin with. This is entirely as a nod to Dart Ace to Ace for commenting on my channel very frequently, and giving me a lot of really cool ideas and direction on what's going on in House Flipper 2 as opposed to House Flipper 1. Some of the things that I might be less used to coming into it. So we're going to give it our all, as I always do. Going to complete it 100% before I hit that complete job button. go. We have the white kitchen now. I'm going to go ahead and hit these walls and continue them around as white. And then we will do green everywhere else. I'm probably about to run out of paint if I had to guess. And one more surface, and then we can do the ceiling while we have the white paint in our hands. Perfect. Okay. So we'll try to do the ceiling in sections because it's going to be a bit of a daunting task here. But this will give me good training for when I'm doing the full rebuilds that I really need to do for the flips. As I've discovered in the first two flips, I really need to be focusing more on getting everything like the same mentality that you would see in like House Flipper 1, where when you go into a flip, you're expecting to be tearing absolutely everything out and just replacing it. That's the mentality I'm going to need to be using for House Flipper 2 as well. And it is very time consuming to do that. And that's one of the things that I was kind of worried about, especially with making videos on every single flip. Go. I'm just trying to do it in sections here so I don't have to worry about the weird control scheme. All right. It seems like I'm still having to worry about the weird control scheme every now and then. Let's go ahead and get more paint. I mean, yeah, I was expecting this to be quite a bit of painting here and everything. This was actually more than I thought it was going to be, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. You know, it gives me something to do, absolutely. There's one star, and if you notice it, we've done quite a bit here, and this is just one star. Like there was a lot of work that went into this. Absolutely, props to the mod author here. This is really worth your time to pick up and do yourself, especially if you like the idea of taking things that are like really dingy and battered and making them new again. And like if you're a big fan of like the restoration channels on YouTube, this is probably a really good mission for you to run. Because I'm sure, as you've seen, everything I've done so far has actually been really high quality for. Like you look at the texture of the ceiling now, and then you look at it now, like, you know, that's really satisfying. There's a catharsis to it that you can't really get elsewhere. It's like having a before and after that's just instantaneous. And right there, like immediately, that is significantly brighter in here, especially just having the white ceiling. Right, and actually used all of our white paint. That is incredible. I almost goofed there. But we did not goof. We are carrying forward. And actually, I really like the layout of this living room. You can tell this living room was laid out with the idea of a television in mind. And I'm pointing that to the fact that it was designed with a television in mind. Like, one of the big points is like the television that's in the corner, like over here. And like I said, it is like this old CRT that's supposed to be in Silent Hill 4. And there's like a few little events that happen with it. But moving on to actual design talk, when you design a modern living room, you kind of have to design it with a TV in mind. Like you really just can't get around it anymore. And now, don't get me wrong, there are cases where having a TV can sometimes be considered detrimental. And actually, I just realized I should have got the inside of the windows before I sold the white. So I'll just have to get another one here and fix that real quick. It's almost like modern houses have to have an area for either a TV or an office. Like you can't really have neither in a modern building. And when you modify a building to give it one of those spaces, it doesn't always come out clean. Like I will tell you this: there was one time my cousin purchased a house, and both of us thought it was the coolest thing because it had a built-in desk. Like it had these bookshelves and these cabinets that were all built into the wall, and it gave it this really really big desk area, and it was just really cool how that kind of came together. I'm doing this as white just to give it a little bit of breakup in the design here, because I don't want all of it to be the same color here, because there's going to be a lot of it that is the same color. But yeah, this right here, this is exactly what you would expect for an area that was built for electronics or for a viewing area. Previously, like in the 60s and prior, having a TV, I don't want to say was not necessarily out of the question, because, you know, it's like in the 60s that the television really, really blew up. It was kind of prior to like the 50s that you had households that wouldn't really have a TV very often, into like the early 40s and before. But when you're talking about what you would design a house for in those eras, it had more to do with entertaining guests. So the living room, quote unquote, would actually be more like a sitting room, where you would have like couches facing each other over a coffee table, and like have little armchairs all around, that sort of thing. You wouldn't really center it on a specific object, unless maybe it was like a fireplace or something like that. But even then, it would be very seldom. So, taking that into consideration, when you have setups like this, where you have one big blank wall that's just very accepting of large pieces of furniture, and then one other big blank wall opposite of it that's very accepting of like electronics, that kind of thing, or like a big screen, this is a room that's very well designed for electronics. And in fact, this TV right here, it's kind of paltry for this setup, because it's only going to take up a very small space on this wall, whereas you could use a big TV, and because you're sitting so far back from it, it would just it would just work. You'd have lots of viewing area, you'd have lots of engagement with the electronics you're engaging with. And we can walk through here, so that's perfect. Got ourselves a coffee table and a children's table. So we're using this children's table as like a little end table is what it looks like. So I'm actually going to move this kind of over to this side. And I'm going to put another one over here. Got ourselves a big coffee table. It looks like I may not have aligned this using the alignment dots there. Got a coat rack. It's pretty easy where that goes. A shelf and a TV cabinet. We'll put the TV cabinet down low. We'll put the shelf up high. I believe it was like this. Put the TV back real quick. Grab a shelf, put that up high. see. Looks like I don't quite have that where I need it to be. There we go. Go ahead and grab our nice little stand right here. Actually, that can probably go over here a little bit better. I put the large, that is a little bit too large, isn't it? Kind of misbalances. I would rather put the large onto one of the small tables and vice versa, put the small lamp on the large table, but it doesn't really work out that way sometimes, but that's okay. A drying rack. Okay, put that there. And let's continue. And this will replace this bookshelf from over here. But I'm actually going to have it face this way, because it seems like it works a little bit better like this. Lots of green in here. Lots of green. I would have actually made this white personally, but I'm not the one who made it, so I'm not going to complain too much about it. It is actually very high quality. I really don't have many reasons to complain about much here. There's a lot of good taste that went into this. Wait. Oh, there's the vase. I almost missed it. Put this up here. There we go. And this is the last room that really needs to be touched. So, actually, did I fix this light? I don't think I did. I did not. Okay. Let's go ahead and fix this. There we go. That's staying. Oh, I needed one of those in here. Whoops. I didn't even realize. Okay. So let's go ahead and paint this in here. This should be the last painting that needs to be done. So I'm getting pretty close to the end. And I already see that I have about 2.5 stars. Well, two and a third, give or take. And I'm guessing the flooring is probably going to be the same as what's outside, the oak planks. Not sure what happened there. My cursor disappeared. I'm guessing at that. I'm hoping. Okay, good. I was guessing at where the end of that section was. So yeah, this is absolutely a mission you can't really hurry through. I mean, you can, because it seems like there's a lot of really simplistic design choice, minimalistic, I should say, design choice that went into this. That's not a problem, not at all. Not for an apartment like this. Like there was a thought process put behind this that feels like you are actually a contractor that was hired by this apartment complex to come in and fix whatever happened in this room. And these are the kinds of choices that an apartment complex would make, because they would want like very simple materials, very quick and easy paint jobs, things that would go very quick, but would fix everything that's in here so they don't get the Department of Human Services on them. You know, things like that. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. And I do notice that not everything can be assigned as a surface that needs to be like in between, like in the door frames, things like that. I really like doing those myself, but at the same time, like this one right here. If I aim just right, it actually just shows up right there underneath the door. But and I know those can't be assigned very easily because they're not technically part of a room. But yeah, there would be. It would be really good to at least have an attempt there. I'm not saying that's against the mod creator. I'm saying that's an attempt to program that kind of idea where you can assign like maybe even a separate room as part of your threshold, or just like the all of the walls, the areas that have exposed wall and exposed floor in a house as part of its own room. There we go. Everything's done. And we're going to do our quick little walkthrough like we always do. Everything's done here. Everything's done here. Everything's done here. Ah, that's right. I never finished furnishing this room. That's okay. We will get this taken care of. Ah, so this is actually why this is another reason why this room isn't as small as it is in Silent Hill 4. So when we want to place down the new stuff, we want it to properly fill out this room. We don't want it to be as cramped and uninviting as it was in the game. Lots of wood features. Lots and lots of wood features. I'll be honest with you. Wood is very much, like just raw wood is very much one of my favorite, or oiled wood I should say, is one of my favorite materials to use in construction, interior design, to the point that I've had to actually stop myself from using wood before. I had to stop and say, okay, I need to use a different material now. So I kind of understand. Let's put that over here in the corner. Let's see, we're not really doing much of anything else. We just need to hang some pictures. Put this nice little desk toy right there. What is it actually? Newton's Cradle. I wasn't sure if the proper term was going to be there or not, but yeah, there we go. Newton's Cradle. I'm not really sure what to do with this. It really needs to be over here next to one of the windows. So instead, I'm actually going to go ahead and place the dresser first, and we're going to put that plant on top of it. Right over here next to our desk. There we go. That's wonderful. And let's grab a nice decorative lamp. We'll put that one over here. That's nice and big. And then we'll put this over here. I kind of wish you know what? I would rather there be two of them. So I'm going to do that. That's just my little extra. And here we're going to use a nice big landscape to go over the bed. We're going to use... Do we want a portrait? No, don't really want a portrait. Let's do something basic. Kind of think of those flowers, but I think it's going to be a little bit too colorful for this. If I was putting it in the bathroom, I'd put the flowers in there, but not here. You know what? Let's kind of emulate some family photos here, or family portraits. We'll kind of go down in size a little bit here, and we'll kind of put this one right here. And last thing we need, really just anything, because I'm going to put it over this over the desk here. So this can kind of be just anything, really. And you know what? I am going to use this. I'm going to just make it really small. And kind of offset a little bit. There we go. That's it. We're done, because this was the last room, and this was the only one I hadn't done anything in. Or hadn't fully completed yet. So we have our 3 stars. Everything is done. We'll finish. There it is. Here, you want to finish the job and finish the job now? 78,000. 78,000. So I am correct. I have a feeling that unless the mod creator actually specifically identified that number based on a multiplier, that means that the more stuff you do, the greater your pay is in a mission. So that means that this is almost, no, it actually is more than 2.5 times more work than the most intensive mission I've done yet. So I do apologize. We had to do that whole thing without the game music. I totally forgot about that, and I loved the ambiance leading up to and getting everything done. But that was a wonderful mod. I'm going to leave a glowing review on it. There's a few things that could be done better, but within the bounds of the game, the only real complaint I have is the bathtub. If the bathtub had been there, and you had to sell the bath or clean up the bathtub or sell it or something like that and replace it with something better, it would have been absolutely phenomenal. It would have elevated that bathroom, especially the bathroom renovation, up into the next tier. But for all intents and purposes, highly recommend that mod. Absolutely. Let me see if I can go ahead and pull it up. Here it is. This one right here, Silent Hill Apartment 302. I had it at the beginning of the video, and it's from Dart Nobug. Absolutely, go grab it. Love it. Absolutely. Have a good one, my dudes. Cheers.